Hi everyone, how are you doing? I hope you're weathering the storm okay, and you've been managing to take stock photos and live as normal lives as you possibly can despite the difficult circumstances. I have been also keeping busy in my own way. So what have I been doing the last week since I spoke to you last time? When I had a chance and I'm just stuck inside, I go through my hard drives and I go all the way back 5 years or so, and then I'm just looking for photos that I've taken that I find interesting to look at and that will be interesting or easy for me to keyword and categorize and upload to the stock sites. So for example, if I've sold a lot of photos of VW camper vans or Beetles and I haven't uploaded all the photos that I took, then I can go into Lightroom and just select some photos that are sharp or look good, and then I can just steal the keywords that I've put in the attributes of the other photos and put them into the photos that I want to upload, and that's a quick and easy process for me, and I know that those types of photos are popular, so that's one way. The other way is I just go through my hard drives and I look at what I find interesting, and if I find it interesting, then it's easier for me to go through the trouble of keywording and captioning it. So that's what I've been doing a little bit of when I've had a little bit of time. So it's been hard work the last week, but in the end I feel if we come through this okay, we'll be stronger and better people from it. And I think also from a global perspective, new innovations in technology with working at home on your computer will take on huge leaps and bounds after this situation is over. I did go to the supermarket the other day and I was taking some photos of the posters, the safety posters on the wall of the supermarket, and uploading them. And yesterday, while I was out walking to the supermarket, which is just around the corner, there was as a company working on a block of flats nearby, and they were removing asbestos from the flats. So I managed to take some photos with my phone, and also I tried to video the tape, the asbestos warning tape that they'd put across the entrance to the flats, and I tried to introduce a bit of movement with my hand. I don't know if it was successful or not. We'll find out when I upload it from Premiere Pro. But that's just a couple of things I did. And when I was out going for a walk during my lunch break, I also came across a piece of flat grass that was full of molehills, which are dirt mounds that have been pushed up from below through the grass and come out the top. So I took some landscapes and portraits of those molehills, and amazingly, when I got really close to one molehill, I saw that the mole was still pushing the dirt out of the top. Of course, when I was ready to take some video of it, he must have sensed the vibration of me on the ground and stopped doing what he was doing. But it was really cool to see. You see these molehills on the lawns, but you never actually see the dirt being pushed out. Okay, so today I'm doing something a little bit different, and that's indoor stock photography. And even though it's a really bright day outside, I want to light up my living room so that I can keep some good shutter speeds and that the whole subject is illuminated in a good way. And if you want to know more about my lighting setup, I use a 3-piece constant light, which is really good for video as well. They're 3 big globes, and it's from a company called Benro, and they didn't cost too much either, if I remember correctly. If you want to know more, I did a video on budget stock photography a few months ago. I'll put a link up to it at the end of this video so you can just click on it, and I go a little bit into how much this setup cost me and what I had to do to buy it at a discount rate. First of all, I'll talk about the tick photo that I managed. We're coming into springtime now and the temperatures are rising. And in the forested areas of the Netherlands and the dune regions, there is a lot of Lyme disease, which is similar to the east coast of the US. And I know the UK has a lot of Lyme disease as well. And I'm sure Germany and a lot of other parts of Europe have it too. So one day my cat came back and I felt a little bobble on its neck. And when my son and I looked at it closer, we discovered he had a tick embedded on his neck. So after removing the tick, I thought it was a great opportunity to use it as a subject for stock photography. So what I did was, after I took some photos of it on the neck of the cat and removed it, I put it in a little glass to save for later. The tick luckily was already dead. So what I did was I took some stock photos and some video of simulating the tick burying itself into my arm. And then I photographed myself with some tick removal tweezers and simulated pulling the tick out of my arm. So, you know, stock photography isn't glamorous, and that's probably the least glamorous side I've seen of stock photography for a while, because these ticks there, for some reason they creep a lot of people out. They don't creep me out like spiders do, but in every strange situation there are often opportunities for stock photography. Okay, another situation of the current times is because of social isolation and self-quarantining, the barber shops and hair salons are closed. So I've noticed in the news lately and in social media that people are starting to complain about their hair growing long and they need a haircut. So this is a perfect opportunity for stock photographers and stock footage creators. So what I did was I took some close-up photos of my kids, and one of them was pretending to cut the hair of the other one. I'm confident that they will sell pretty well on the stock site. Okay, another one was because we're all stuck inside and we're heavily reliant on tablets and laptops and phones, I thought I would simulate 2 people fighting over a tablet or an iPad. And so I got my helpers again to grab the iPad from one side to another, and I took video and photos of that. I also did that with a phone charger because even after this crisis is over, there's always fights in the house over where the phone charger is or who can have the phone charger. So that's more of an evergreen photo, I think, rather than one for the current situation. I also took a photo of fighting over toilet paper, because in the Netherlands, and I'm sure many places around the world, when you go to the supermarkets, you'll find that the shelves are empty of toilet paper because of panic buying. So I just got my kids to fight over a roll of toilet paper close up. I didn't get their faces in, partly to protect their identity, and another so I didn't have to faff around with model release forms. Okay, so they're just a few things that I've been getting busy with in the name of stock photography and keeping productive and making the most of my isolated time in the house. I hope you guys are managing to find your own subjects and also having fun in these times, because I know it can be really tough and it's not easy. So we have to be really resourceful just to first find the energy to get the motivation to do this, and also look after ourselves and the people around us, and also finding the energy to be creative. It took me almost a week to come up with this concept for today's video, and those first few days were really tough because there wasn't that much space in my head. After thinking about surviving at work as a remote worker, and looking after my family, ignoring a lot of the news, and also trying to stay healthy. So there was a lot of stuff to think about, and I'm sure that applies to all, if not most people. But once I've processed all of that stuff, I did have space to start thinking creatively and finding the energy to act on that creativity and execute these stock photos and videos. Okay, so that's it from me. I wish you guys all the best, and I will see you next week in the next video. See ya!